Mouse TV, myself Theo Kane, and welcome to All Figured Out. So last week we had a look at some of my Commando toys, and I talked about how in the 80s and the 90s it wasn't uncommon for studios to take big action and horror franchises and turn them into toys and kids TV series. So just keeping a little bit with that theme, today we're going to be talking about one of my favourite examples of that, the Toxic Crusaders.
Toxic Crusaders, Toxic Crusaders. I had no friends.
So back in 1984, a legendary independent movie studio from New York called Troma created a film called The Toxic Avenger. And not only is it one of the most impressive examples of independent filmmaking ever, it's also the very first ever R-rated superhero movie.
The Toxic Avenger. The first superhero born out of nuclear waste.
The film's all about a kid called Melvin Junko, and he's the janitor at his local health club, and every day he gets bullied by the same group of teenagers, but one day they take it too far. They play a prank on Melvin that involves him getting dressed up in a ballerina tutu, and while he's running away from the bullies, he crashes through a window and he lands into a barrel of toxic chemicals. The chemicals that he falls in mutate his entire body, and he's transformed from Melvin the Geek into Toxic, the Toxic Avenger, and he goes off on a murderous rampage, taking out bullies and bad guys in a bunch of over-the-top gory death scenes, and making it his own personal mission to clean up the streets and the environment of his fictional hometown of Tromaville, New Jersey.
The vandals and the perverts had their way with the little people of Tromaville until the Toxic Avenger ripped them apart.
Now when I say it's R-rated, like, trust me, it's fucking R-rated. It's got violence, nudity, swearing, drug use, everything. There's even a scene that's like really infamous where a little kid gets smashed by a car tire. And it's like a super infamous scene. It was cut from most of the videos growing up. I could never get a copy of the movie that had this scene in it. But if anything, it just added to the movie's notoriety and made it more sought after by people. A little bit of time after this, directors Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Herz made a sequel, The Toxic Avenger 2, but they shot so much footage for it that they ended up getting a third movie out of it as well. And as much as they're schlocky and daft and over the top, they're still very much R-rated. So I don't know what it were, but at some point, someone had the bright idea to turn this into a kids' TV series. So what was the Toxic Avenger then became the Toxic Crusaders, and what was a really adult, violent series of films became a kids' TV show. They gave Toxie a load of mutant allies, they give him a load of bad guys to fight, and it honestly became one of my favourite TV shows in the whole of the 90s.
With my mom, tutu and girl. Wow.
Like any animated TV show, it also coincided with a toy release, and they picked the perfect people to create them. They went with Playmates. These are the guys that made all the best Ninja Turtles 90s toys.
It's Dr. Killamore, the evil alien who wants to pollute the whole world. He's gonna smogify every tree in Tromaville. But look who's gonna stop him. It's Toxie.
So all of them had that mad gross out style, and you put a Ninja Turtles figure next to a Toxic Crusaders figure and they just go together perfectly. This also spawned a bunch of other merchandise, from sippy cups and lunchboxes, Halloween masks, sweets, a bag of comics, everything, you name it, they slapped Toxic Avenger on it. It was fucking awesome and I wanted all of it. This is even my Toxic Crusaders t-shirt from when I was a little kid. Look how small I was. In the 90s it was huge, it was a legit franchise and it was everywhere and I couldn't get enough of it. And then all of a sudden, as quickly as it came around, it just disappeared. It just went, gone, boom, just gone. Like so many cool 90s shows like the Pirates of Darkwater and Bucky O'Hare and Captain Planet, boom, just gone. No more. And I'm sat here for 20 years like wondering what the fuck happened. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like the toy gods answered my prayers and Super7 must have acquired the license and they released a really cool line of 3.75 Toxic Avenger figures. Obviously I bought them, I reviewed one of them on this channel, but like any time Super7 get a license, I always hope there's going to be a little bit more. What more can you give me? What more can you get me? And this time they just fucking delivered. So our guys Nima Studios, our sponsor, just got these guys in. The brand new Super7 Toxic Crusaders Keshi packs, complete in Toxic Barrel. If you know me, you know that I love toxic shit. The reason we're called Slime House is because I love slime shit. I love the 80s gross out stuff. And anything that's Keshi, minifigure, like, I just fucking love. So I'm wounded that I'm gonna have to slit this pack open to get into it because I don't like opening things on this show. I'm also such a fiend for awesome packaging, and the Toxic Crusaders orange and yellow stripes are like, oh man, I just love that shit so much. But for you guys, I am gonna open this packet very carefully with a razor, and we're gonna have a look what's inside. So one of the things that I do know straight away is that there's not every single character in the Toxic Crusaders have been made into Keshi yet. They just haven't done that. There's just some of the characters, and there's 2 versions of each figure. So let's look at what we got first. So these guys are Radiation Rangers. They're like the equivalent of the Power Rangers putties or Stormtroopers or Foot Soldiers. They're Dr. Killamoff's Radiation Rangers, and they're ruthless. One of the first times that you see them, they're actually turfing out a bunch of kids from an orphanage so that they can knock it down and build a toxic waste dump there. Proper baddies. The 80s and the 90s had proper baddies. You'll always hear me say that. Proper bad guys. And these were just like the main grunts from the show that the Toxic Avengers were always beating up on. And I love them colours. This one's like a jelly bean colour, and this one's like a neon green slime colour. So who we got next? Well, while we were talking about Dr. Killamoff, let's pull him up. So we've got a nice slick orange colour there, and then the crystally blue. And he's the main bad guy from the show, and as fucked up as he looks, he takes that head off and he's actually got like an alien cockroach head underneath that. So he's got an even more fucked up head underneath from the alien planet that he's from, where everybody looks like cockroaches, and he has to have a breathing apparatus, like a breathing mask, to constantly pump toxic gas into his lungs. He can't survive on planets with clean air. That's why he wants to turn Earth into a fucking smouldering ball of smog. And one of the first times that you ever see this guy, he shows how much of a prick he is. This cute little pterodactyl creature lands on his shoulder, all sweet and innocent, and he grabs it and he crushes it and he smashes it on his control center, and then just carries on talking like it was just a Tuesday to him. Any day, he'd do that any day of the week and not care a shit.
Because I'm the most polluted city in the world.
Dr. Killamoff, proper bad guy. So one of his right-hand men, one of his henchmen is this guy, Psycho, who's like a little overweight blob, mechanical, fat alien character, and he's cool. Again, we've got 2 colours of him. One of them's quite annoying because I've been trying to stand him up and his leg's a bit warped, so for the close-up I'm going to have to put some blue tack under him, but that's cool. This shit happens when you're like making Keshi in like such large amounts. And again, what colour we got? We got like a snot green, toxic, slimy kind of colour, and then we've got this one, which I believe... yeah, man, glow in the dark. So that's glow in the dark, which is very reminiscent of Toxic Crusaders, because each figure came with glow in the dark accessories. One of them had even come in like a little bag. If you remember the old toys, they came in a little green bag, and you'd rip that open, and inside there'd be a little toxic glow in the dark accessory. So that's fucking awesome. Then we've got one of my favourites from the show, Junkyard. 2 versions again. So we've got, these are really cool ones. So we've got a glow-in-the-dark one, and then we've got my favourite translucent green neon slime version. So Toxic Crusaders, so fucking Slime House, and so fucking cool. So Junkyard was a dog and a man that got merged together in a doghouse in a radioactive rainstorm, and it turned him into this guy, Junkyard. And if you remember the old toy, I know we're not talking about the old toys, we're like comparing them to the Keshis, but check this. You remember the tongue on the old toy? He had a gun, and the front of his cannon was made from like a dog food can that had been opened, and then his other weapon was these 2 bones strapped together with a flag that said "Take a bite out of crime." I remember that so much, man. These figures resonate with me so much, and I love the Playmates style because you look, every single inch of them has got some detail going on. They've got a bit of bone sticking out, or a bit of slime, or a bit of rotten flesh, or a bit of a boil or a pustule. So much character going on. We haven't done this guy, Headbanger. So another character that's 2 fused together is this guy, Headbanger. So why Headbanger's cool is because he's 2 completely different characters that get merged together. One of them's like a yo man, surfer dude, proper stereotypical 80s, 90s Ninja Turtles surfer bum kind of dude. And he gets merged with a mad scientist called Dr. Bender. So Fender and Dr. Bender become Headbanger. And if you remember the old toy, it used to make me laugh because Dr. Bender would have how he mutated meant that his arm had to constantly be behind Bender's shoulder there. Imagine that your arm is forever like that on a guy's shoulder and you're mutated together. Imagine trying to go to sleep. That must be fucking horrible, because these 2 have obviously got to sleep in the same bed. Imagine trying to get comfy. That's like dead arm. That's like dead arm, super dead arm central there. Fuck that. There's only one left, and it's the main boy, Toxie, the Toxic Avenger. Two really fucking nice colours as well. One of my favourite colours ever. Oh shit, so check this. Woo! His mop comes out of his hand. That's some fucking sick attention to detail, man, because they didn't have to do that. That's awesome. And do you know why that's even more awesome? Because in the TV show, his mop is like a separate character. His mop is sentient. It can do shit. It can do shit on its own. And he uses it as a weapon all the time. It wraps around trees, it trips up baddies, it turns into stuff. It's really fucking awesome that they'd have that as a separate character. So you don't just get these characters in there, you also get Mop. He just happens to be in Toxie's arm. And also, the version of Toxie that we've got here is Toxie with the headband. So if you look at the toy, I'll take a shot of it next to the toy. Toxie has a headband with the red vest, but in the TV show he didn't look like that. He never had the headband, and I always liked him. I always thought he looked better on the box art. We've got this here, look, this is the box art. This is a nice 10-inch old Toxic Crusaders Toxie. So check that, you see him with the band, and then this picture on the back, that resonates with me so much, man. I love that shit. He's fucking awesome. So we've got two Toxies as well. So what characters don't we have? We don't have Major Disaster, which is a shame because I fucking love Major Disaster. That's this guy. Who remembers this figure? His feet were like permanently in a permanent state of swamp because he was a soldier in the army that fell into a radioactive swamp and he became Major Disaster, and he got the power to control plants and swamp shit. And then who else we got? No Zone, this guy. This is one of those figures in the cabinet. Everybody's got one. I've got hundreds because I've got hundreds of fucking toys that fall over, but everyone's got that one figure that just don't want to stand up in the cabinet because his backpack is so heavily weighted, because that would be full of slimy shit for his nose. It would always fall over, but I love that character, and I would have really liked to see how they did him in Keshi style with the wheel leg. He was a pilot that flew into a radioactive ozone layer and become No Zone and got sneezing powers. And then the last guy that they didn't make into Keshi is this guy, Bonehead, and he's one of the coolest ones. Who don't like a skeleton, fucking 90s skeleton punk that glows in the dark? He would have been awesome. And he has rocket launchers and bazookas that are made out of bones. So I'd have really liked to see him as a Keshi as well. But I'm not disappointed because all it means is that they're probably coming. What would you like to see in the other set? We definitely need No Zone, we need Major Disaster, and we need Bonehead. I'd also like to get Melvin's girlfriend, she'd be cool, and his mom, she'd be a funny character. Some of the side characters would be really cool. Maybe even some of the vehicles, the smog cycle and that shit. That'd be fucking awesome. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, drop a comment, hit the subscription button, all that usual shit that YouTube people tell you to do it all. It's because it makes a massive difference to the channel. It's so much easier to grow and build your channel if you've got subscribers and likes and comments going through your videos. So that's why it sounds beggy, but it's just how it has to be if you want to build your channel, which we do. I'm also on Instagram at Theo_Kane_Slimehouse, and you can find all the artwork, all the stuff that we get up to at Slimehouse, all the toys and the retro collectibles, all the shit that I do, it all goes on there. Also, this video is sponsored by Nima Studios. That's nimastudios.com, and they're pretty much the only place in England that you can get all this cool stuff without getting hit with any import charges. All the cool shit that they send us, all the brand new Super 7, the reaction, all the American exclusives, they get it all. So if you head over to nimastudios.com, see something you like, and if you make a purchase, don't forget to let them know that Slimehouse sent you. We're also on Patreon. Patreon is very important because that helps us keep the lights on here at Slimehouse TV. So if you head over to patreon.com/Slimehouse TV, for as little as £1 a month, you can become a slime renegade and help support what we do here at Slimehouse TV. Like I said, I'm Theo Kane. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. But for now, I'm gone. Boom.